CBC lies, but the records don't. We caught the state broadcaster being untruthful at the Heritage Committee. You see, the state broadcaster is hiring temporary foreign workers despite their denials, and I've got the documents to prove it. You know, you've really got to hand it to the CBC. They'll look at a room full of MPs right in the eye and deny something, even when the paperwork proving otherwise is already sitting in my email inbox. At the House of Commons Heritage Committee this week, Conservative MP Rachel Thomas asked a very simple question of CBC President Marie-Philippe Bouchard. Why are you hiring temporary foreign workers? Take a listen.
I guess my question is with regards to temporary foreign workers. It's come to light that the CBC hired 20 positions since 2015. Just within Ontario alone, and that these positions were deemed, quote, high wage. Why are Canadian workers not good enough for the CBC?
Now, how did the CBC boss respond? With denials. Look at this.
As far as I know, currently there are no such temporary foreign workers employed at CBC. So I don't know the history of the 2015 that you're citing, but right now there are none.
Did you see the report that came out? You're unaware that there's any report of temporary foreign workers being employed?
What I'm saying is that my information is currently there are none.
That's not what I'm asking about, is it?
Well, I don't know about 2015. I wasn't there.
Translation, don't ask me about the past. I've only been in charge for a few short months, but the slate is clean since I showed up, so none of this counts. Thomas pressed her again and again, and Bouchard just kept bobbing and weaving. She claimed she didn't even know whether those employment records even exist.
We employ 7,000 Canadians at this stage. That's how many Canadians work for CBC. I think they're exemplary employees. I don't see why you would say that Canadian workers are not good enough for CBC.
Let's not put words in my mouth, Ms. Bouchard. I did not make that statement, but CBC's actions are making that statement. CBC's actions are pointing to the belief that Canadian workers are somehow not good enough. I mean, some of these positions that were filled are computer programmers, computer network technicians, business management consulting, marketing researchers, announcers, and broadcast technicians. We have many individuals in this country who would be more than happy to fill those roles and more than qualified to fill those roles. So my question is, why weren't Canadians given priority over temporary foreign workers?
Again, I don't know what you're referring to in the sense that I wasn't there, but the evidence that I have is that there is no foreign worker working for CBC at this point, and there are 7,000 employees who are Canadian.
The head of the national state broadcaster doesn't know if her organization keeps employment records? Sure. Now, if this were a sitcom, you'd call that a punchline, but it's not funny because this is your money, $1.3 billion plus worth of it, actually. Now, the very same day Bouchard denied using the temporary foreign worker program, the CBC quietly released documents to me under access to information showing exactly that to Rebel News, that they have been using temporary foreign workers. You see, the documents don't lie. CBC Radio Canada had 3 positions approved through the Federal Labour Market Impact Assessment Program. That's the bureaucratic gate you have to pass through before hiring foreign workers. And we're not talking about summer interns or janitors. The files list an intermediate back-end developer in Montreal maintaining Radio Canada's digital platforms, a technology and infrastructure developer in Ottawa working on systems and automation, and a senior telecommunications analyst responsible for CBC's real-time network systems. These are all high-skilled, high-wage, long-term positions, and they're filled through a program that literally requires the employer to prove that no qualified Canadians exist to do those jobs. Think about that for a second. The CBC, sitting in the middle of 2 major cities packed with tech graduates and experienced engineers, told Ottawa that there were no qualified Canadians, and then told the Heritage Committee the exact opposite. Now, the core aspects of CBC's mandate regarding Canadian arts say it exists to promote Canadian content. The CBC is tasked with producing and broadcasting content that is, quote, predominantly and distinctively Canadian, and also to provide a national platform. It acts as a national public broadcaster, ensuring Canadian artistic and cultural content is made available across Canada, now made by non-Canadians.
I don't know if that information exists. So if it does, I'm happy to provide it, but I don't know if it exists or not. I'm not familiar with it.
Employment records for the last 10 years would not exist anywhere at the CBC?
I'm just saying I don't know if they exist. So if they do exist, I will gladly provide them to you. If they don't, they don't.
What's worse is the smug attitude. You see, Bouchard insisted, we employ 7,000 Canadians. Well, good for you, lady. But you also employ foreign nationals in Canadian jobs while taking more than $1.3 billion a year from Canadian taxpayers for Canadian content. If a private company CEO said something this misleading to Parliament, CBC would be first in line to crucify them on the national, in fairness to an audience of almost nobody. But when it's their own house that reeks of hypocrisy, suddenly they develop amnesia. CBC's actions do say that Canadian workers aren't good enough. They'll spend our money on consultants, diversity bureaucrats, and now even foreign tech labor, all while lecturing the rest of us about supporting Canadian stories. Elbows up, you guys. And Bouchard's performance at the committee tells us something else. Even when cornered, the CBC doesn't tell you the truth. It tells whatever version of the truth is most convenient to CBC at the time. So here's the real question for the state broadcaster that claims to reflect Canada back on itself. If the CBC can't even hire Canadians or be honest with Canadians about it, why on earth should Canadians keep paying for it? For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. These documents catching CBC in their big lie at committee were made available to me thanks to your generous donations at a crowdfunded website that funds my research at rebelinvestigates.com. You can make a donation there, but let me thank you for making this important work possible. Again, that's rebelinvestigates.com.